All right, guys. Hello. Welcome to Sunday, the 15th of March, 2026. Okay. Let's do a back testing session. Um, Yesterday I was like, I can't be asked to then I put it in comments or something on the description. I was like, I just can't be asked to name them because it's just gonna come out whenever they come out. And it's just too much work for me to remember which one it is. But anyway, let's go into the day. So, FMC at 2 p.m. And on the daily we can see that we sweep previous day's high right here and we close below. Okay, we sweep of this high, we close below. Okay, then we have this internal gap, this internal gap, this internal gap, this internal gap. Now Enki runs in and it has the possibility to respect and move up higher, right? But ES, we see we close below the first gap and then we kind of stagger at the second gap. Okay, so the important part to look here is look at the lower time frame to see if price can give us anything more clear with regards to what price wants to actually do here. Okay, so obviously that's the candle opening. We see we close below, close below. So in narrative, what do we expect? Lower prices. Realistically, we expect lower prices for now. Okay, so let's get into the hourly. Let's actually mark out some areas of liquidity, such as here. Technically yesterday's candle low. Then we're definitely going to have some resting liquidity here, some buy side here. We actually get an SMT here, so we can actually look for lower prices, can't we? That does make sense. Yeah. See, we have an SMT here. We actually just mention that. One thing, just to mention, we also do get a bearish SMT on yes, reinforcing the T2 possibly low fields. Okay, let's get into the 4 hour. What do we see on the 4 hour? We have some bearish gaps. Okay, so just mark these out. That's the bearish number. There we go. And then we have another one. Small, but it's enough. I feel like price will just tap into this and then move lower. There we go. So what do we see? We see run into this gap, run into this bullish gap, and we end up sort of respecting it. So with regards to previous gaps, we see as we run into this bullish gap and begin to see some up close candles from it. This could be a reaction. Okay, we begin to move higher, targeting higher, e.g. bearish gaps, or a reversal for us to continue moving higher. Now, with this, we do need to remember that there was a massive daily gap that we were in. I'll actually draw it out for you guys. Oh my God. Yeah, you see, we completely went into wick, and then we also get an intermediate term high sweep. Okay, that's quite important. That's kind of like the yesterday's episode. No, not yesterday's episode. I didn't even upload it, bro. Yesterday when I was doing backtesting on my own, I found out some mad shit. Like it was crazy. But yeah. So you see we tap in and then obviously what can we target now? These areas we could pump off higher. We could trade lower, take out these relative equal lows and stuff like that. Okay. So, but yeah, 4 hour creates a displacement leg lower with bearish gaps to possibly retrace back into. Okay. Um, the 1 hour kind of delivers price fairly, but we are obviously in a downtrend. Right on the hourly, we can see we are trending downwards. If we draw out the range, I'm here to say here, we're in a deep discount. Okay. We break out this range. Let's just say 1 hour delivers price lower efficiently, leaving little to no gaps. Okay. We are in a deep discount, and the truth is the long-term look on bias is bullish. Okay. So now it's just the point where I kind of want to see, are we going to respect this area? We're not going to, what's going to happen? Okay. So let's get into marking out midnight opening price. The opening price, and then let's also look at what London session does. Okay, so here we get some accumulation. Okay, very interesting. Are you making browsers? Okay. Okay. All right. So what does London do? London reaches into this 1 hour gap. Right here. Does it get a sweep? We fill in this gap very much. This could be the look for London reversal. Okay. So let's talk about pre-market. So midnight. Okay. We move lower with some energy pushing us back up a bit higher. London session reaches into a 1 hour bullish gap and respects it. We also take out some liquidity from yesterday as well as Asia's session. Okay. This could be a London reversal, New York continuation. Okay. Higher into those areas of bearish gaps. Error. Okay. So let's just kind of see what goes on. Okay. We are respecting bearish gaps furthermore. Respecting bearish gaps, we're just continuing lower. Okay. So let's just kind of annotate this so we can see that we are just respecting bearish gaps. Therefore, look on the day is more likely to be bearish than bullish unless we come into this bullish gap and see some heavy rejection. Okay. So market opens in what? Bang bang. Let's market open. Let's just zoom in. Why are you making browsers? There we go. So we tap into that gap. I just want to mark up some areas of buy side liquidity. Here we go. All right, got some gaps here. Okay, price moves lower. We inverse this gap. Cool. Okay. So what do we get? We get an SMT here. Just talk about that. So we get an SMT. Okay, there we go. Okay. Well, now what I'm kind of interested in seeing is price either disrespecting through and moving lower. Okay, there we go. We do move lower, which is nice and clean. And realistically now, I do want to see this intermediate term high swept before we can take a short. Okay, so just have a look here. Does price want to continue lower? Oh, 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 oh. We don't get it. We don't get it. We continue lower, no problem. What do? We run into this 5-minute gap, okay, and we end up respecting it. Okay, cool. So now, what can we look for? A shorting opportunity. Where? Well, we mark out the swing points here. Price continues lower, that's fine. Price still continuing lower, there we go. We get our first little indecisive candle, and we are still providing lower prices, okay? Here we now have finally a bearish gap. Now, could I possibly taking an earlier short? Well, not really. We can see the 5-minute is delivering price fairly. The 15-minute, we wick into this gap and we end up moving lower. Maybe in this move, I could have caught something. Let's just see. Maybe on this gap entry, but even then, I would have probably taken this gap. The gap looks a lot nicer. But anyway, okay, that's fine. So what's going on now? Well, there we go. We wick. We can see that we wick into this bearish gap. What's 15 minutes in? 15-minute, we have loads of rows of retracement on ES, okay? Okay, I like to see this because now we've broken through swing lows, okay? And we also get a change in the state of delivery. Now, can we enter anywhere here? Maybe here. But then obviously we are not. I don't really feel too confident about it because this is not within a premium, okay? Do we have anything on the 2-minute here? Yeah, we do. So I would actually prefer to take a long here, okay? So let's look. I'll zoom out and see if we have any targets. All of this low-hanging fruit here. Kind of struggling to pinpoint that. There we go. Alright. I guess that's really the only next area that I could see us reaching for. Let's look at the hourly, because given the fact that we're gonna have a bullish gap form of some sort, we are always likely to retrace into them because they're higher time frame. Okay. I feel like, let's just say from New York AM open, price continues lower. I have a possible trade entry, but we could get stopped out given the fact that we have unmitigated 50-minute bearish gaps. Okay, on ES. So we do get an intermediate term high here, intermediate term high, another intermediate term high, another intermediate term high. Okay, and we're seeing every single one being respected. Now, since we're in this high time frame bearish gap, could we possibly begin to start seeing a retracement? Yes. Are we sweeping liquidity as well? Yes. So what I'm going to say is we are in a zone where a reversal has a high chance of occurring. If I miss a trade opportunity here, I am fine with that. Okay, we can always catch something later. Okay. So obviously, let's just go back into the 2-minute and look at my trade idea. Obviously, we'll mark it up. 124. Just place the stop loss right there, and then miraculously target. I think regarding here, I can put my stop loss here. Right. So we can see here, price is just kind of messing about, super close to stopping me out, super duper close. We do end up obviously still respecting that intermediate time high. And then we get stopped out, right? So it was a good idea I didn't take the trade. Now, reason for it is because, look, we just took out a key level of sell side. We're in this gap, we filled it in. Okay, and we are likely to start seeing some reversals, okay? Very likely. So let's just kind of get rid of all this noise. Okay, let's get rid of all this noise. I'd very much rather wait and get a better shorting opportunity, or adapt my bias and flip and start reaching for areas of buy side. Okay, so let's just kind of see what price does. We wick in and we fail to close above. Okay, we failed to close above. Now we run into this gap. What do? We sweep out an intermediate time high. Can we see that? We sweep out an intermediate time high. This could be a very clear opportunity to take a short. Price is sort of playing around. There we go. We get our first nice candle close. Now let's look at this range. So we get a swing low to a swing high. Okay, we get a market structure shift. Okay. Now ideally when it comes to me, I do want to have an entry above an area here. So I say we put it right here. Why? Well, because look, we have the inversion and price may want to step back in. So ideally, that'll be the last runner with partials here. More partials right here. Okay, so let's just kind of annotate that. So we get we sweep intermediate sell high on NQ and then inverse a bearish gap, bullish gap, sorry. On the lower time frame, we have a 1-minute gap that I have placed a limit order on at the 50% level. The 5-minute candle displacement low. So, in other words, say this is the trade idea. Okay. Feel more confident just doing that. See if ES would provide us with a better entry here. Nope, it's still kind of the same thing. So let's just place order advanced 1%. So, okay. Alright, let's see how this plays out. Run in. Okay, so we have now filled it in, or we could get stopped out. There we go. Very quick in and out. We get stopped out. If I get stop hunted, I'm gonna be a bit sad. But no, it does look like, yeah, okay. Maybe I read something wrong here. Let's see, we do close below, but now it looks like the stage of consolidation within this higher time frame area, okay? We're working on, I was expecting lower prices, but doesn't really look like we get it. You know? We are just now starting to consolidate. Why? Because FMC is coming out soon, right? So we're just kind of we're stagnating and we're waiting on 100%. So we take out this area. Yeah, okay, so let's just mention we get stops out, and then let's just talk about how this wick is like what formed a range, okay? It formed the range. So if we zoom out, we can just kind of see that we are chopping around. We can see that we are simply just chopping around prior to FOMC news coming out. Okay. I think the lesson learned is if we are in a key reaction level, this bullish 4-hour gap, it is best to stay patient and wait to see clear moves, right? This means you could have to wait a while until the 50-minute provides some clear price action on where it wants to go. Reason I'm saying this is because I entered a bit too early with a lack of info, and it resulted in me entering within consolidation, consequently stopping me out. Okay. Now maybe my trade actually does end up playing out later, but here we can see that we're just kind of we took out another intermediate time high, we get an SMT. Okay, so just mark that out, buy side, SMT. There we go, there's our SMT, 50-minute. We close below this one, then we can also expect, there we go, we close below. What am I expecting now? Well, ideally an entry, okay, so is there anything here? Nope, 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 nope. We reach the 50% level, and then we begin to consequently move low. There's going to be a 5 minute gap forming here. And there isn't. We close below. There we go, we have a 5 minute gap now. There we go, reach into it. And price just continues high, right? So let's zoom out. What did we see? A range, okay? We see a range. We have our move in the morning and we consolidate, okay, for the rest of the day. Right. So you see we have in the morning, so midnight we move lower, lower. We have an intraday market maker sell model, buy model, right? So we are on the first phase, consolidate, and then we start moving higher. So agreeably, we can also begin to look through for higher prices, right? Run through the 4 hour gaps. And say the target's probably here. Okay. But yeah, so I get bought out on consolidation. Entries way too much. This is just think of requiring patience. If the market fails to present itself clearly, I should have no reason to take a trade. Okay. So let's also just get that written in the trade notes. Okay, the tag, so strategy was not this one. It's my model. Did we reach into a key level? 80 minutes down high, like that. You know, I'm actually a bit sad this trade didn't work, but obviously that's just how life is gonna be, you know. Um, but yeah. So let's talk about tags. Opportunities for growth, consolidation entry. Um, patience. I was correct in obviously initially seeing lower prices, which is what happens. Reaction from key level. Rereading price action. Obviously, I would have been able to clock that we are in a consolidation and I would have been taking a trade. Okay, and then positives are I follow my strategy, good risk management, and had logical targets. So obviously, the logical target was this low, and obviously, can we see when we sweep that low, these two lows, right? We don't even need to go into the last one. We start to begin to see a move higher, right? So when we get change of state delivery, we protect this low, right? Bang, 15-minute high, 15-minute gap gets respected. So let's see here. 15-minute gap gets respected. Would we have caught an entry on this massive move? No. Okay, we would have missed it. Is that okay? Yeah. Why would it not be okay? Alright. We can see we just push on higher, right? So that's that for today's backtesting session. I'm probably gonna do one later today. But yeah, hope you guys learned something from it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.